Getting answers from Sacramento's most watched late news. This is the CBS 13 News at 10.
Do you think that he's still out there?
I think he could absolutely still be alive.
He's been called one of the most prolific criminals in our state's history, striking first in Sacramento, and he has never been captured. At the top of the hour, we told you about the new push to find the East Area Rapist.
The FBI and Sacramento County Sheriff's detectives released new sketches, and they upped the reward to $50,000. CBS 13's Tony Lopez takes a closer look at the crime spree that shocked so many.
Chances are you've heard of this guy, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. But do you know who this is? This rapist and killer is known as the original Night Stalker, a man who terrorized Sacramento and beyond in the late 1970s and 80s. And to this day, he has yet to be found.
The top here, all the way down to the bottom, these are all EAR.
There's more than one binder or box of evidence inside the Sacramento County Sheriff's Cold Case Unit that's labeled with the acronym EAR. Because the East Area Rapist has far more than one victim.
He had quite a few strikes, sometimes twice a month.
It began in June of 1976 on Paseo Drive in this Rancho Cordova neighborhood. A man, 19 to early 20s, snuck into a woman's home in the middle of the night and sexually assaulted her. 1 month later, he would go across the American River and strike again, this time raping a teenage girl in his Carmichael neighborhood. Sadly, he had only just begun. The following month, he would go back to the area of his first reported attack. This time, his victim escaped. But 6 days later, in Carmichael, as this map shows, the predator would strike again. 4 more rapes occurred in October of 1976 in Citrus Heights, Rancho Cordova, Carmichael, and Rancho again. The manhunt was on, and police sketch artists put pencil to paper.
We have a number of composites that are out there that, you know, while some are different, many of them have a lot of the same features.
A white male, again 19 to early 20s. He wore blue athletic shoes, would oftentimes wear a mask, and always carry a gun, knife, or both. His method of operation was the same, getting in through an unlocked door or window, or jimmying the lock. To wake up his victims, he would shine a flashlight in their eyes as he stood at the foot of their bed. His target, women who lived alone at first.
There was a point in his series where he actually switched to attacking couples.
Always using brand new shoestrings, he would order his female victim to tie up her partner. Then, putting the man face down, he would stack dishes on his back and take his victim to the other room, threatening to kill her if he heard those dishes rattle. Even more chilling is an answering machine message he left for one of his victims the day after he raped her. We want to warn you, it's disturbing to say the least, but cold case detectives tell us they do believe this is the voice of the East Area Rapist.
How close was he ever to getting caught?
There were several times in the series where he was close. Unfortunately, officers had given chase, but were unable to catch him.
He proved to be so elusive in part because the areas in which he struck had something in common. They were near open spaces with trails and fields to make a quick getaway.
In the Rancho Cordova area, you have waterways. You have various ditches that lead out to the parkway, that run behind homes, things of that nature. He certainly likes that type of an area.
And he also liked to, using the words from this Sacramento Bee headline, toy with investigators and his victims. In fact, detectives believe this guy would actually attend some of the emergency town hall meetings held during his crime spree, looking for the next person to attack. How did they know that? Well, at one of those meetings held here at Miraloma High School in Sacramento County, one man stood up and was especially vocal, demanding to know why this rapist hadn't been captured. A few weeks later, that man was tied up inside his home. His wife was sexually assaulted, investigators believe, by the East Area Rapist, who was about to become a cold-blooded killer. In February of 1978, near this well-kept area in Rancho Cordova, husband and wife Brian and Katie Maggiore saw a suspicious person on their property.
It appears Brian and Katie Maggiore stumbled upon him, and they were both shot in the backyard of a home.
He would rape 9 more victims in the months that followed. He would strike in Concord and Fremont, leaving behind the telltale signs of his attacks.
Going over his method of operation, the things that he did during the incident, we're satisfied that it is the East Area Rapist.
Investigators believe he sexually assaulted close to 50 women in the Bay Area and Sacramento from June of 1976 to July of 1979.
It's got to be one of the more, notorious unsolved cases in the county then, right?
Absolutely, yeah, without a doubt. It's interesting to me that it isn't as publicized, I think, as I would expect it to be.
It got more publicity when this serial rapist made his next move.
There's a lot of people that don't realize that the East Area Rapist went on to essentially sexually assault and murder many people throughout the state of California.
Killing 10 people, first in Santa Barbara County, then Orange County. DNA evidence from those murders proved it was the same suspect who had raped so many women.
So that they now know that all of those cases are linked.
And all of these binders connect the dots to a trail of terror left by one of the most cold-blooded criminals ever.
If still alive, the East Area Rapist would be in his 60s.
Now, if you know anything about these crimes, investigators want to hear from you. They're even asking any victims from decades ago to come in and review their initial statements.